everybody, it's Romania Black, and we are on episode 26 of Word of Honor. And these last few episodes have been amazing. There's been so much romance. There's been so much plotting. These last few episodes, I talked about it in some person's comment, I think it was Night Owls, about how this feels like a checkpoint. It feels like we've hit some emotional checkpoints that we need to make with Zhou Zishu and Wen KeXing, getting them kind of closer to being on the same page. Wen KeXing is not outed that he's the ghost chief, but I think it's coming. And then Zhang has kind of come to terms in some ways with that she's not comfortable with her identity. She's worried that Cao Ning is going to leave her when he finds out, but she is getting better at vocalizing her thoughts with Cao Ning, and Cao Ning, being the golden retriever of a man that he is okay with that. So we have a lot to get through, so we're just going to dive right into the comments before opening up episode 26, which is 45 minutes long like last week, which I'm like, yes, give me the content. So Pines841 for episode 23 says, anyway, the pink robe of Wen KeXing is iconic. I love it too. And Zhou Zishu is so lovely in this outfit. I think some of Zhou Zishu's outfits are underrated. He always wears soft colors, which symbolizes his detached state of life, but he looks good in every outfit. Yeah, seeing the colors and how the costuming has changed over the course of the series, reflecting the characters and their moods and their relationships and the status of that, has been really fun. I've really enjoyed looking at the series from that lens. DTCTS adds to that for episode 23, saying the pink and red combo for Wen KeXing is one of my favorite outfits in the entire season. It's almost like looking at cherry blossoms with that little embroidered shoulder detail of the pink leaves. The overall soft, subtle blush pink with that bold, harsh, bright, contrasting red. I love that it almost gives the appearance of blood-stained blossoms. And I was like, oh, well, that fits him as the ghost chief. I mean, blood-stained cherry blossoms fits Wen KeXing to a T. I mean, how could it not? But they also added that the huge array of costumes cost so much of the budget for this series, the team actually ran out of money and ended up having to make the rest of the costumes by hand. So this robe is one of the many that had incredibly talented costume departments painstakingly stitching by hand. I mean, look, y'all talk about how this series did not have a budget. You wouldn't know it. To be fair, you would not know it. Maybe the special effects, but they work around that really, really well and kind of tie into like Chinese tropes with cinematography that I think make it work, like with the slow motion, the fighting sequences. I think of House of Flying Daggers. But like with the costuming, the set designs, you wouldn't know they didn't have a budget. They made that shit like go a long way, which I really appreciate. So that is insane. The craftsmanship and dedication, love it. Love it. Be Happy in the Discord for episode 24 said, I was so waiting for you to arrive to this episode for Zhou Zishu to unlock and show his vulnerability. Yes. He really does trust Wen KeXing to trauma dump on him. Like, this is how you know when you know how guarded and cold he is usually, it does say a lot that he is trusting Wen KeXing to handle all this information. But maybe the journey they had until now and being in a place he once called home and where he feels most safe and loved also helped to get down his walls and being able to unload all of this onto Wen KeXing. Yeah, I think so. I think that once Zhou Zishu made it home, back to where he grew up, it was kind of like an opportunity for him to kind of reflect. And once he reflected, it was like a waterfall and it all came out. And Wen KeXing just had the bucket in his hands to catch it. Speaking of which, Wen KeXing, instead of having a gay panic, is having a sheedy panic. Yes, he is. But as of last episode, you know, Chengling is a persistent little booger. And he was like, can I keep calling you Junior Master? Can I keep calling you Junior Master? And he's wearing Wen KeXing down because how can you say no to Chengling? Chengling's amazing, right? So then Night Owl rounds out our comments saying, in this episode, they are literally in ruins, physically standing in the Four Seasons Manor. And instead of just pretending that they're fine, Wen KeXing and Zhou Zishu sit in that pain together. I love the way you worded that. That's so apt. Also, I think the manor, neglected and decayed over the many years, perfectly represents Zhou Zishu's emotional state. But Wen KeXing isn't just sympathizing. He's like, let's rebuild it. And that hit me. It's more than just fixing a house. It's him saying, let's rebuild you. I love that. And I love the idea of, you know, one of the phrases that you see it in a trope a lot of times in romance is the whole I can fix him or I can fix her. And fixing implies that there's something wrong with them. And I kind of like the term rebuild a little bit better because rebuilding suggests that there's not anything wrong. It's just broken. And we just need to help put it back together and heal it. So rather than take something that was wrong and correct it, it's let's rebuild, reconstruct what was already there that was right, but just got broken and neglected. And let's just put it back together and make it whole again. And I think that difference makes all of the world of difference. If you've not seen Night Owl's comment, it's over on episode 24 on Patreon. They have a lot more, but this really stood out to me to talk about with this episode. But your comment, Night Owl, was fantastic. So thank you for that. But yeah, I totally agree. I love the idea that these two murder husbands that have come from these broken backgrounds are helping each other to heal. So there are no dubbed dialogue in this episode. I think next week's either a deleted scene or dubbed dialogue. I'll get with the moderator about that. In episode 28, it has vice versa as well. But I have so been enjoying this little mini arc of like healing Zhou Zishu and getting him back to speed and doing the same with Wen KeXing, which I think is necessary because we're about to go into the final arc of this series and they might need to be as healed as possible for that. So, with any case, also Shin rescued Zhao Lan last episode, which was great. And so Zhao Lan's been rescued, so that's check that off. But yeah, I'm ready to start this episode. I hope you all are as well. Thank you so much for your comments and your kind words. But we're going to get started with episode 26 of Word of Honor. We're going to start at the 1 minute 48 second mark. And we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Episode 26. Oh! Oh! It's so freaking cute! Shut up! Don't harm him. Oh. Oh. Oh my god, don't hurt that puppy. I hope that puppy is not harmed in the making of this series. Because that's a legit real puppy. Oh my god! Oh my god! They threw the puppy! Oh my god! Oh! Oh, don't hurt the puppy! Don't hurt the puppy! Oh, that poor puppy! Oh, that poor puppy! Oh, that poor puppy. Oh, that puppy is really hurt, y'all. I'm getting Milo and Otis flashbacks. Oh. So I'm assuming that was Zhou Zishu's master that saved one pot, but... Interesting. Aw! Get at it, Chengling! Why are you up so early? Oh, wow. Aw. He must be swift as the coursing river, Wen KeXing. About that. About that. About that. Oof. Oof. Well. You're talking to the leader of him. Right. They had to spend a long time with it. Yeah, get enough sleep, Sweet Bean. And don't worry about me being the ghost chief. Oh. Ah. Oh, look at that. Ah! Ah! Well, I mean, why do you care? Oh, I want smiling Zhou Zishu forever. Who would be here selling Girl Scout cookies? Who shows up after they did all the work to clean it up? Hi, yeah. Oh, yay, bye. Oh, is he going to get a message about Wen KeXing? Oh, hello, Scorpion King. Oh, damn, you include the family? I love her. The purple vibes are amazing. Oh! Oh! What ghost portraits? Oh my god, just denied it right out. Oh my god. Mmm. Oh shit! The shade! The shade! She has such a Harley Quinn vibe. I live. Well, not really, actually. Oh my god. Oh bless. Oh bless! Ah! Ooh! Ooh! Oh, that face! Ooh! You didn't read your damn horoscope very well. He's a Scorpio, bitch. Well, he's like, he's a Scorpio. He's a Taurus. I'm a Scorpio. Oh, she's got her knives out already. She's ready to go, bitch. I want her dress. Can I have it? Oh my god. You'll just leave. You'll just leave. Oh, I don't think that's how this works. Oh, they're gonna stab him in the back. And they're like gonna be first on the chopping block. Oh, the neck crack. Oh, well, we're gonna send them. Oh, shit. Ooh. Oh, he just took that immediately. Oh, bitch. Oh, bitch. Well, of course he'd let the ghosts go because then if they're targeted, it won't come back on the assassins. Oh. Oh. What is this? Oh. Oh. Was he one of the window of heaven? Okay. Oh. We're also... Oh. Oh. Ah, there we go. I was going to say we go back to the mechanical sparrows. Okay. Oh. Um, he's like, I didn't exactly do any of this. Is Lord Seventh Jin? Oh, okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay, so it is Prince Jin. Interesting. Ooh. I like he's called Sir Ye. That's great. Ah! Ha! We're Chengling! Why are we surprised? Oh, okay, it's more than that. He's like, son of a bitch. Oh, so this has to do with... Uh-huh. So he's playing something that involves Prince Jin and healing him. Interesting. Okay. I will trust the old man. Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We need these answered. Yes, thank you. Answer. Okay, so they're all separate. Okay. Oh, okay. So two mystery people in the 11th hour. Hello, Deus Ex Machina. Secret witchcraft. Witchcraft. Okay. Yeah. Um, oh. Well. Uh. Ah! Oh, that's funny. Okay. Oh. 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 Ah. Oh. You mean a wife, not a servant. Spouse, not a servant. So did he realize that Wen KeXing needed to go talk to her? Does he know what's going on? Hmm. And he just let him go, being like, go do your business. You can tell me later. Oh, he did. That is exactly what it was. Wow, okay. So Wen KeXing knows. He's like, if any of you judge my robes, you're dead. I love how he instantly changes demeanor. It's so good. Oh, hey, Ghoul. Okay, I'm sure he wants to make sure that Guzhong is not part of it. Oh! The flick of the robe. I mean, that's not a bad likeness. And then he's making sure Guzhong's not in there. He's probably like, oh good, Guzhong's not a part of this. Oh, she's Miss Zhang too. Oh. Well, Lustful Ghost is dead. So. He's like, you didn't answer my question. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Hmm. Okay. Interesting. Even a bear will be king. He's like, I'm probably gonna kill you in the next 5 seconds. Okay, so they're not actually in the Ghost Valley. He's like, I'm kind of with like a man now, so I'm kind of over this. What do we do? What do we do? He's like, shit. So does he need to tell Zhou Zishu what's going on? Chengling's gonna be pissed. Chengling doesn't need to know this. Oh. I just want food! Like, you two could have cooked yourselves, bitch. You can't make a bowl of noodles? Oh. No, but... Ah. How about I teach you how to cook? Ha! But he's like, let me teach you just in case something bad happens. He's like, you're gonna be spending a lot of money on takeout. He's getting into Bruce Wayne mode! Getting into Bruce Wayne Batman mode! Ooh. Well, you know, sunsets, me determining whether I go back to the Ghost Valley. The future of this series. Yeah, this feels like setting up everything. I want him to tell Zhou Zishu before he leaves. I love her in the black and red. It is gorgeous. Man, the ambiance of this scene, it feels very vampire. It just feels vampire. Oh, he's like, what? Changing minds? I love her, like, she has Mulan colors in her robes. What? Conditions? Oh, I like this framing. Oh, the framing of this. She's like, yeah, I know he's an asshole, but I like him. Daddy, I love him. This is such good framing. Ooh. Also, his eyeliner is so on point. Bitch. Make the water of oblivion for me. Mmm. She's like, what do you want me to do? He's like, make the water of oblivion and give it to me. Oh, daylilies. Ah. Oh, she hasn't heard of it. Interesting. Oh. Oh. Interesting. So it's similar. Interesting. Oh, which is probably explaining Wen KeXing as well. Oh. Okay. Oh, it's been a week. Oh my God. Oh, bitch. Oh, you are in for a rude awakening! Oh, bitch, you're about to be in for a rude awakening! Oh, bitch. Oh, bitch! Oh, bitch! Meanwhile... Uh... Oh. Speaking of which... I mean... Aww. She's like, I guess I gotta go meet the family. Aww. Who wouldn't like Xiao Ning? Well, yeah, sure. Oh. Aw. Okay, Fawn. He's like, please. She's like, bad with names. Aw. Oh. Oh, he's so cute. Oh. Yes, very. A lot of suffering to look forward to. Aww. Oh, he seems really nice. Aww. Aww. Oh, sweetheart, you're not married yet. Oh. We're not gonna talk about the glazed armor right now. She's like, tee-hee. Oh, that! Oh! Oh! Through the veil! Through the veil! He knows! He knows! He knows! Oh, that look! That was a look, y'all! Great ambitions. Oh my god. Does he know? Oh my god. Does he know? Oh. Oh, that face! Oh, that face! Oh, the framing of this episode is insane. The framing of this. Why would you be suspicious? Well. Ooh, the toxicity. The toxicity, my friends. Are you? Oh, he won't meet him in the eye. Oh, no, no, no. He knows the truth. He knows the truth. He is like about to cry. Uh-huh, sure. I don't think it's a son or daughter, though. Oh. Hmm. 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 He's like, I heard Coldplay playing from your bedroom, bitch. Oh. Oh, like the hand on the neck. Oh my god. Oh, he knows. Oh. Oh, from her. From her. From her. You told me you were gay, bitch. He's like, oh, what? What? He's like, I'm gonna kill that bastard. Oh, you made the corner yourself, sir. Aw. This gives off Zhang clan vibes from Modazushi. Let's hope that we don't go down that route. Well, yes. Well, yes. Well, no. Just some basics. Just some self-defense. Let's not. Let's not go that route, because he's known. Ha 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 ha! Good save. Good save. I'm an orphan? Aw. Oh, Wei Ning's an orphan too. Aw. Aw, Wei Ning being a little orphan. Aw, he's like Aladdin. He's so cute. Okay. She's like, aha, after the new year. Haha. That seems very quick. He's like, we're not going to talk about it around the lady. I'm digging the jade pots and pens and cutlery, though. How are you going to spin this? How are you going to spin this? I'm just a poor boy from a poor family. Oh. 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 But weren't you a gold digger? Didn't you marry her for money? Okay. Oh. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. It's like, what is the lie and what is the truth here? I mean... Oh. Oh, did you? Oh. Interesting. So maybe that's why she spared Wen KeXing? I love his hair, the Scorpion King's. This feels so manipulative, though. And him looking at him with such sincerity. Bitch. Oh, so you just happened to kill the one person that could speak against you. Imagine that! When the world turns its back on you, you turn your back on the world. Oh! Bitch! Oh my gosh, I'm living for this. I am living! I am living! They're, oh my god, the hand on the cheek. Oh. The censors have, like, taken up residency. They're gone. Damn, the toxicity of this is so... So what did she tell him? She's like, oh, you're the new trollop. Wow. So what's her story? She's like, well, that sucks for her. Uh-huh. Ooh. So she knows. Game meets game. Ooh. Ah. Ah. You had a red wedding girl. Oh. Oh. You're taking him at face value. I mean... Oh. Oh. You can go look for yourself. A keepsake of hers. Oh, bitch, he has, hasn't he? Oh, ooh, ooh, okay. Okay. Tomorrow, eh? Should we start making the dumplings now? That's what he said in his letter. Ah! Ah! He's like, oh, I didn't teach him that. Hmm. True. He's like, he is helping you. So that's the only reason. Hmm. Oh. Okay. Zhou Zishu is no nonsense today. It's like, oh. He's like, I really need to talk to you though. So could we really talk before you go to bed? You know, even if we don't drink, please. I need to tell you things. Get that Wulong nuts! Get that product placement. Oh, get that dramatic drama music. Oh, look at his little red lavender hood. Oh, bitch. He's like, I got things to do. We got things to plan for. Oh, he wanted to have the drink with you before he left. No, don't you understand? Oh, Wen KeXing, Joji, you should have took him up on that. You should have took him up on that. Oh my gosh. Episode was juicy. I'm probably gonna have to redo this for next week because we're entering. This very much felt like we are setting the stage for the final act. That's what this felt like. We are setting the stage for the final act, and we are setting up Wen KeXing going back to the Ghost Valley and running off in his little lavender hood. That sucks so much because he was trying to have a last talk with Zhou Zishu to possibly explain what's going on, and Zhou Zishu's like, nah, I'm gonna get some rest, I don't want to drink or anything, and he's like, well, I can't tell you sober, so I'm gonna have to leave. I just this is setting the stage when KeXing's going back to the Ghost Valley to try to figure all that out for like a final attack, whatever. The whole thing with Zhao Jing and Scorpion King. The censors were like, hey, we're doing great over in Alaska. We're going to stay here, pitch a tent. Call us when the series is over. I don't know how you beat the allegations on that one. Do they let it go through because they're the bad guys? Is that why? Bad guys with air quotes. Is that why they let it go through? I was like, whenever the Scorpion King was like nuzzling his hand against I was like, what? I was like, you can't say they were just good friends. No, they were just father son. No. Oh my god. Oh my god. So anyway, we need to talk about all the stuff going on in this episode. But first, I want to just put a feeler out there. I hope that there was like an animal handler on set for this puppy, because as someone whose parents raise dogs and as someone who's grown up around dogs and like puppies and everything, when they threw that dog on the ground, I was like, huh, and then when the dog was picked up by the man and it was like whimpering, I was like, that puppy's in pain. That puppy's been hurt. And then they just picked him up by the scruff. I was like, ugh. And I know that's such a minor thing to some people, but I grew up watching Milo and Otis. If you don't know what Milo and Otis is, it's originally a Japanese production that was probably one of the first major successful dubs here in the US. I think so, because it got dubbed in English, and when I was a kid they played Milo and Otis all the time, and it was just a story about a cat and a dog, but it was live action and it just followed them on their adventures, and I was obsessed with it as a kid because it had a farmyard and animals, there was a cat giving birth in the movie, which as a kid I was like, oh, so that's how it happens, okay. But I loved that film, and then when I got into college I read that film was made in the 1980s, before Japan had animal rights, people on set to watch over the animals, make sure they were treated properly and carefully. And you come to find out that there's a scene where Milo's dangling off a cliff, and 7 to 8 cats died during production because they kept killing cats filming. And I was like, what? It's a whole thing. You can go look it up. But there were a lot of cats that died in the making of that movie because there weren't standards for animal rights on the set. And as an animal lover, I was like, oh, that's problematic. And so I can't look at that movie in the same way again. So I'm just hopeful that there was some people on set to make sure this poor puppy was not mistreated, because so he says that his senior brother left him. His senior brother left him to me. Okay. So this is when KeXing looking after One Pot by himself. And then One Pot's a nice name. And then these guys are these kids are threatening to take him and cook him. And when KeXing's like, no, I also am a huge sucker for the trope of the character that's really short and small when he's a kid and he grows up to be a really tall guy. I'm a sucker for that trope. So I love for Wen KeXing that ends up happening. But yeah, poor One Pot getting taken. But yeah, when he tosses him, he's just like, okay, go. And he just threw that puppy to the ground. I was like, well, at least it wasn't very far to the ground. And so, okay, he says, go run home to find mom. So at this point, he's still living with his parents, and the people haven't come and killed his parents yet. So he's not been taken by the Ghost Valley, because they would have killed that dog instantly. So yeah, and he says, Jin One Pot. So then somebody comes and takes the dog, but we don't exactly know who that is. It's not Zhou Zishu, obviously, because it's not Zhou Zishu because he's too tall. It's not the master because he looks younger than that when you pause it. He sends him on his way. And I wondered for a second if it was Ye Bai, and he knew Wen KeXing, but it's not him either. So he gives it back, and I'm like, who is this? Who is this that gave it back to him? Is your little boy, is your surname Jin? And he says, no, you have the wrong person. So I'm curious. I want to know, who was it? It could not have been Zhou Zishu's master, because he would have recognized him because they've already talked to him. Who was that? That's interesting. I don't know who it was that rescued One Pot for him, that knows him somehow. I'm so curious. Their robes did not look like they were distinctly from any particular clan. So I'm curious. Why are we introducing somebody in the 10th hour? Why are we introducing somebody in the 10th hour? But why? Now, I do like the confirmation we get that the dream drunk life, if we get this back up here. So we get confirmation in this episode, and I'm going to get this a little scoot it on towards us a little bit, shall we? But we get confirmation that the drunk dream life. Oh, are we already getting into? Why is this being I just used this marker. The drunk dream life and the water of oblivion are technically called two sides of the same coin, which, okay. I think that's kind of fun that you have this setup, because if you think about it, we've presented the scorpions as well as the window of heaven as two sides of the same coin. So now you have, and then the Ghost Valley is involved, so it creates this little web of similarities and differences between these organizations, which is fun. But we find out the dream drunk life, it counters the water of oblivion. So that explains a lot, because what that explains to us is that way back from like episode 5 and 6, where Wen KeXing's encountered that drug, it's been actively working against the waters of oblivion this whole time. So that gives some more credence and explanation behind it, which I think is really great. So that's fun. But anyway, so then we have the whole thing with Chengling. The whole discussion with Chengling. And Chengling being mad about the Ghost Valley. And the fact that the Ghost Valley, he believes, is responsible for his parents' death, which we know now it was really the assassins and Zhao Jing working with some of the ghosts from the Ghost Valley, but not the Ghost Valley itself. So you could just see, I love Gong Jun in this episode, because you could just see on his face during this entire scene, his expression is like, yep, Chengling's gonna hate me if he finds out I'm the ghost chief. Like, you could just see how frustrated he is, because he knows that Chengling's gonna be mad at him, and and I like that Wen KeXing has kind of accepted that. He's sort of accepted that, yep, Chengling's gonna hate me, but it is what it is. And so instead of just kind of berating and like walking away, he instead is like, here, Chengling. And I think part of it is that Wen KeXing hates the Ghost Valley to an extent as well. So he kind of relates to Chengling in this moment, being like, you're mad because the Ghost Valley caused the death of your family, even though there was a lot more to it than just that. And I was mad at the Ghost Valley for causing the deaths of my parents, even though there was much more to it than that. So he relates to Chengling in this moment. And rather than pushing him away or trying to offer an excuse or anything, he's like, okay, then get strong enough to beat them. And here's what you do. It's great. Like, it's a great moment, and shows a lot of growth for Wen KeXing, a lot of restraint for Wen KeXing, and also the fact that he admires Chengling and he wants him to like grow up to be strong enough to not only defend himself, but to get revenge on the people that have wronged him, which is something he's been actively doing. So I love it. I love this scene between them. But this was kind of the first, to me, this was setting the stage of Wen KeXing's going to have to leave, because he can't stay with Chengling. I kept thinking this entire episode that the news was going to come out that he was the ghost chief. I kept thinking this episode it was going to come out, but they are like, no, we're saving that till a really angst-ridden moment we can reveal that. And I'm like, But yeah, they were very much like skirting around the edge of talking about it. And I'm like, but they're not getting to it yet. So instead, he's like, this is what you need to do. Then Zhou Zishu shows up and he's like, didn't I tell you you're not supposed to be just teaching my disciple and all this? Zhou Zishu, I am sorry. Zhang Jishin that plays him. Y'all. Zhou Zishu, beggar Zhou Zishu, no. Angsty, moody Zhou Zishu, no. Zhou Zishu is so equitable to Batman from Western media for me. I love, not angsty Bruce Wayne, but I love smart, sassy, flirtatious Bruce Wayne that's also a detective. And also Batman. So anytime Zhou Zishu is around in this episode, up until the end where he gets a little cranky, he could do no wrong for me. I love this flirtatious, sassy, investigative Bruce Wayne Zhou Zishu. I love it. So this guy shows up to deliver a message to the Four Seasons Mountain Villa. It's like, well, I'm glad that people know where this place is, because nobody's visited here in like 50 years. Okay, so before they go to get the message from Ye Bai, which is hilarious, we get this green room confrontation between the scorpions and the ghosts, and oh my god. First of all, Scorpion King's black robes with the purple overlay, love it. He would honestly be stealing Wen KeXing's purple robe and hood if he knew about it, I'm sure. But also, Malicious Bodhisattva, our girl Malicious, I love her. I want her dress. I love her spunk and personality. I love she was ready to kill them all right then and there. She can do no wrong. She is ultimate queen. Love her. But these ghosts are like, but we thought that Zhao Jing was going to save us and protect us, and now you've listed, they not only listed their faces, but their familial relations, which I was like, I'm surprised they didn't include Guzhong with Wen KeXing, but maybe they don't know that she's a familial relation, and Shin just figured that out by proximity and seeing them together. But I'm like, yeah. And I'm also like, what did you think? I also feel like the Scorpion King, he is, Jair, he is doing all he can to not believe all the red flags put in front of him about Daddy Jing. He is trying his damnedest to not accept the possibility that Daddy Jing is bad news and like a black flag. Like just trying his hardest. Because he and he wants to believe that Zhao Jing is not going to betray him, because of course he wouldn't. I mean, if you loved someone, the last thing you want is if you love someone and then everyone around you is kind of like, he's a red flag, you should get away from him. He's going to betray you, and then you're going to feel horrible about it, and you're going to have a broken heart. You should get away from him. When everyone around you is like, this guy's kind of bad news, you would think that you would want to just immediately get away. But if you're in love with that person, that's the last thing you want to do, because not only does that, in that relationship, but it also kind of makes you look a fool because you went along with the relationship and ignored all the signs. And the first red flag in this episode for Daddy Jing is the fact that, yeah, he betrayed these ghosts quite easily and quite quickly and to a high extent. And the whole point is to get the ghosts isolated so they can be a convenient scapegoated third party. Just get rid of them and wash our hands of it and move on and be successful. And it's a strategy that is highly effective in the real world, so why would we doubt it here? And Scorpion King is like in on it. So he knows this is the strategy, but you could see in his face that he's trying to be like, this is just good. This is just business. This is just part of the plan. This is what, I was told. My master hasn't betrayed me because he told me this was the plan all along. I also am living for Malicious and the Happy Ghost, because the Happy Ghost gives off Joker vibes and Malicious gives off Harley Quinn vibes. And so when they were laughing at each other back and forth, loved. That was such an amazing moment. Yeah, so the Changing Ghost is kind of pissed, because remember, the Changing Ghost was the one that told the Lustful Ghost, Daddy Jing, he's got us in his back pocket. We're totally safe with him. And now it's like, no, bitch, you're not. You're absolutely not. And the Changing Ghost and the one disciple he has left are kind of pissed about it. I love whenever he complains to him and the Scorpion King is like, what ghost portraits? The Scorpion King, he is an enigma. I can't take my eyes off of him. Again, I see why he was originally Wen KeXing. I see it, but I think he's so suited for this role, because this is a hard role to play. You have to not only be a cold-blooded assassin and the king of the assassins, which he accomplishes very handily, but you also have to simultaneously play someone that can come across as innocent and naive and like, what? I didn't know. Is that what was happening? Like, he has to perform so many layers of this character, and he does it with the most perfect winged eyeliner I've ever seen in my life. Y'all have shown me the videos where he does his makeup. I'm like, how? Not fair. Not fair. His makeup is flawless and there's like nothing there. It is the most efforted makeup I've seen on a character. Like, he's wearing practically nothing, but it's flawless. I'm like, not fair. Jealous to the high degree. Yeah. And the Changing Ghost is like, bullshit, you don't know. And then I love that Malicious is just like, my favorite part is when the Changing Ghost calls him out, and then he goes, oh, those portraits. I was like, bitch, just slay me now. Scorpion King, I am locked in every scene with him. And we hadn't seen him in a couple episodes, so I was like, oh man, I really hope we see the Scorpion King. And then he delivered. It was great. Malicious was ready to fight them all. Now, what's interesting is he talks about knowing a ghost that could change their faces, which they know. It's the alluring ghost. They know somebody that can change their faces. So it's kind of like he's mocking them to their faces, which is funny. But He's like, maybe y'all should just go into hiding and, maybe they'll be a little easier on the eyes and look better. It's great. But he's like, my father's only gaining fame. Isn't this wonderful? The face that he makes whenever they're contemplating leaving, where he's just like, what you gonna do about it? Like, oh my God. Every expression from the Scorpion King in this episode, the range of emotions he goes through, absolutely obsessed. I love his character so much. And they're like, and the Changing Ghost is trying to be diplomatic because he strikes me as the type of character that doesn't want to burn bridges necessarily. He'll cross over a bridge 8,000 times. He'll betray you in a heartbeat, but he doesn't necessarily want to burn that bridge and eliminate that possibility for himself. So what he does instead is like, oh, hey, you know what? Alliances usually rely on compatibility. This isn't working out. We're going in two different directions. We need to just probably leave, get out now. We don't want to hurt you. You don't want to hurt us. Like, let's just leave on amicable terms and do that. And the Scorpion King's like, sure, bye, there's the door. Because he knows that it's no skin off of him. That's the point. The ghost leaving, if they don't stick around, the ghost leaving is only going to benefit the Scorpion King, because he's like, our assassin guild's doing just fine without you. We were kind of using you all as like, errand boys anyway. And now that you leave, we're not associated with you. So you're going to go back to the Ghost Valley, be conveniently cornered, and then we'll just come in and kill you. And it'll be no skin off our back. Oh no, we weren't on good terms anyway, as you said. So no harm, no foul. So this is all playing into exactly what Jing and him wanted to begin with. And he's like, well, let's just go. I love that Malicious is just ready to fight them. She was just ready to go. Now, I love she walks in, she's like, my king. She's like, what are you all scheming about? And I love that he instantly is like, speak with more respect. Like, he instantly shuts her down. And it's just like that transition from him being like, who, me, to let's not talk about it. Oh, I love it. And she's like, okay, fine. She's like, what about, she's like, I have the letter from Liu Qianchao about the Water of Oblivion, and gives it to him. His eyeliner is so perfect. I hate him. So they go to the Peace Bank. The Peace Bank that turns out to be run by people that Zhou Zishu knows. So I feel like we had saw Ping An at the very beginning, because Zhou Zishu is very excited to see him. And he's like, why are you here? And he's like, are you the one running this Peace Bank? And he's like, well, not me. He's like, I don't even have a degree. So we get back here and we find out that Ping An, who Zhou Zishu knows, is connected to the people running the banks all over the kingdom. I look after the 56 silver banks. 56 silver banks! My dude, are you getting a promotion? Are you regional manager at this point? That's a lot of banks to look after. So there's the Lord Seventh, who he works for, who's running the banks, which is interesting. I wondered the moment we found that out, I was like, is this going to be kind of like a Hamlet situation where, if you've ever read Hamlet, everybody dies in Hamlet, which I don't think everybody's going to die in this, but everybody dies in Hamlet. And at the very end, this like random third party comes in. They're like, okay, so we're taking over the kingdom. Thanks. Bye. Sorry about your deaths. So I'm curious if this is setting up for if Daddy Jing falls and is taken out. No, Huckleberry. Then will the Lord Seventh and these other people come in and just kind of like take over business, and we'll just sweep Daddy Jing under the rug in the Five Lakes Alliance and then move forward? Could be. Could very well be. Huckleberry wants me to throw this toy that is nowhere near me, so I cannot throw it. But yeah, so we have the Lord of the Seventh, as well as this other guy who we find out about. And at first I was like, who the hell are these people? But he says Nanjiang has 5 reform establishments that Ruri looks after. And he's like, Peace Bank is all over the world. Why did it never hit me that it would be your lords? And he's like, well, you were a beggar and being a bum at the time. He's like, how could he do business related to money? Our bank does deal with money and business, but we collect Central Plain information for the great shaman. Okay, so we have Lord Seventh. Now this is interesting. So the Lord Seventh not only runs a bank, But he's also basically being used for like espionage to gather info, which is fun. So he gathers info for the Great Shaman. And the Great Shaman uses the mechanical sparrows as well, which I'm glad we're getting back to some of the things this episode and last week about some of the aspects from earlier on in the series that we just kind of like forgot about temporarily. That was fun. But yeah, so we have those. Is it weird that I want to ship the Great Shaman and the Lord Seventh already, like as a crack ship off screen? Is it weird that I want to do that? So yeah, so at first I was like, who are these people? And we find out that they are just two people that Zhou Zishu knew before. He knew them before, but they left before things went down. He's like, that's how I was able to hear that the Lord Seventh was coming, and was also how I knew that I should come first. Okay. And so then Zhou Zishu's like, wait, the Lord Seventh is coming here? So he says that they're having another like dog bear conference. He's like, when Lord Seventh heard you were unwell, he decided to head to Kunzhou with the Great Shaman. I bet they traveled together. I bet they did. So essentially, they were concerned about Zhou Zishu, and now they're coming this way because there's going to be another conference. So we're setting up the idea, and apparently they have a bunch of guards with them, so they'll be fine. But apparently we're going to be having another conference or gathering. Meanwhile, we also have the Ghost Valley is plotting or preparing for war. So these are connected because we know that the conference is going to be Daddy Jing is going to convince them all to attack the Ghost Valley. So that's what's being set up. And this happens to involve the Lord Seventh and the Great Shaman. And also, simultaneously, like, Ye Bai Yi is involved as well. So all of this is tying together. Meanwhile, you have the Window of Heaven over here, who are also getting Prince Jin involved. Again, we talk about Hamlet and that third party. Prince Jin is getting involved in all of this that might come into play. And we have the Assassins, who are also plotting in this. So everything is going to converge at the Ghost Valley. Everything's going to converge at the Ghost Valley, which just happens to be conveniently where the Glazed Armory key is. So, you know, just coinky-dinkity. And then meanwhile, you have the Gentle Wind Sect, who the Gentle Wind Sect does not seem at the moment like they're going to get involved in all of this, but I feel like they're going to get involved in all of this. I feel like it's going to come. I feel like that's going to happen. So, we're going to talk about that when we get to it. But yeah. So he's like, Kunzhou is far from the Emperor's capital. So Prince Jin, what does he say? So Prince Jin will not be able to reach this place. So he's sending them there instead. Okay. He's like, the person Ye Bai Yi went to invite, you know him? And he's like, oh yeah, it's a lifelong friendship. He's like, you really are something. You didn't send our Lord any letters. He's like, well, I was kind of drunk and dying. But now something's come up. He's like, well, you know, I'm dealing with stuff. I love the letter just says, you bastard. And then it's like, make me food. I will meet on winter solstice. I want dumplings, cabbage, and pork filling. He's like, you owe me, bitch, for making me go all this way to people that you ended up knowing and convincing them to come when it wouldn't have been that hard. I did your dirty work. Now make me food. I love it. I love it. So yeah. He says they're preparing some precious medical materials in the Southern Territory. Okay. So we find out he's like, I know these two. I knew him growing up. I didn't expect that maybe that was who he was going to go see. Turns out everybody knows everybody. He's like, we all worked for Prince Jin, but they were let down by him later. So they left for Nanjiang and never came back. Could they heal your injuries? And he's like, well, the Great Shaman's skilled in medicines and knows about secret witchcraft. So possibly. So we don't know if Prince Jin is actually coming. That might not be. Here's my thing, though. Even if Prince Jin doesn't come, I feel like if shit goes down and Daddy Jing gets taken out, I wouldn't be surprised if we do a callback from the beginning and Prince Jin comes trying to sweep in and claim the territory. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets if he gets involved. But yeah, so these two that are Zhou Zishu's friends from long ago could possibly heal him. Great. Cool. Awesome. Nice. That's hopeful. That gives us some hope. That's good. He's like, well, isn't this good news? And he's like, and Chengling's like, why didn't we just get a hold of them earlier and they could have healed you then? And he's like, well, I didn't want to live then. But now I've changed my mind. So yeah, I'm kind of all here for it now. Anyway, so they're like, why did Elder Ye scold you? And he's like, well, because I just sent him on an errand. You know, that's why. So then what we end up having is he's like, well, it's a huge blessing if he can cure Master's injury, so it shouldn't affect anything. Then Zhou Zishu looks over and says, what colors do you have in your stall? And Zhou Zishu's fixated on the woman getting all the material there, and she looks over at Wen KeXing, and Wen KeXing's like, you know what? I think that I have to go look and see if there's a painter to do the repair work, so I'll find you all later. Now, in this moment, does Zhou Zishu figure out that that woman is connected to the Ghost Valley? I think he does. I think in that moment he looks over at her and realizes that she's a sparrow, a spy sent to talk to Wen KeXing. He realizes what's going on, and and he decides in that moment, he's like, I'm gonna let Wen KeXing have his space. I'm gonna let him talk to the Ghost Valley. Do I think that Zhou Zishu knows that Wen KeXing is the chief? I don't know if Zhou Zishu knows. If he does know, he's not saying that he does because he's trying to like figure it out on his own and waiting till he gets evidence and not just conjecture, because he has been wrong before with him when he wasn't Rongzhan's son. So I think he's just waiting it out. But I think that Zhou Zishu also knows that just like Wen KeXing has given him space to talk, he wants to give Wen KeXing space to come back whenever he's ready and talk to him about what's going on. So, you know, I honestly think that it is building up the fact that Wen KeXing left at the end of this episode. I don't think Zhou Zishu will be surprised, which is good, but I think he'll kind of just be like, I wish he'd talked to me. But then again, the flag was there and Zhou Zishu didn't pick up on it. Yeah, he just looks like, as he's eating the seeds, that he's got like the detective face on. So anyway, so when KeXing goes back to this little makeshift hideout that's not the Ghost Valley, but like this makeshift hideout, and I love how he is instantly able to turn off from Wen KeXing to Ghost Chief just like that. Like just like the Scorpion King, he transitions into that mode. I love it. And as they're talking to the ghoul, I thought he was going to kill the ghoul. I thought the ghoul was dead. I thought he was going to kill him. And the ghoul kind of calls him out, being like, where have you been? We've been out here trying to survive now that they put this hit list out on us. Where have you been, sir? And why are you not scathed? And why aren't you in the know? What have you been up to? Have you been sneaking around with a guy behind our backs? I think that it's important that when KeXing got the ghost book, I love when he flips out the sleeve, to make sure that Guzhang's not in it. But whoever did the portrait of him, it was pretty spot on. So there was that, and then we saw the picture of the tragic comic ghost, and then he looks through there. And so he's like, we've been hiding in this desolate place the whole time, looking for your whereabouts. If it hadn't been for Miss Zhang, who took Yunji. Okay, so she was one of the girls, yes, that was taken under the care. Okay, so that could have been, I don't think Zhou Zishu ever saw her, the girl that was taken under Guzhang's care. I don't think he ever saw her. So, okay. So maybe it was just he figured something was up, but that's why Wen KeXing recognized her. Okay. So yeah, so thank Guzhang that this girl was saved. I wouldn't have been able to see you. And that's when Wen KeXing's like, how many of you all are left? And he's like, well, how do you not know? So he didn't say the lustful ghost had been killed, but he kind of questions why Wen KeXing doesn't know everything. You know, you're the chief, so shouldn't you know? And then he finds out that Tragic Comic Ghost and the Lustful Ghost are still MIA. So in this moment, when KeXing realizes that things are about to go down, and he's probably going to need to stick around and see what happens. I like the phrase that the ghoul utters: when there isn't a tiger in the mountain, even a bear will be king. Basically being like, if, you know, the person who's the most powerful isn't around to keep order, people are going to keep springing up trying to take that position away from you. So in this moment, when KeXing kind of realizes, yeah, I've been away from my duties as the Ghost Valley chief, and my absence has caused some things to escalate, and I need to go back and get things in order, or everything's going to go to shit, and eventually that will have repercussions for Zhou Zishu and Chengling, and we can't have that. So there we are. But yeah, he's like, we need to return to the Ghost Valley and create defenses. And he's like, and you can just see the conflict on Wen KeXing's face. He's like, I don't want to leave, but I don't want to leave Zhou Zishu, but I need to take responsibility. One thing I do love is that Zhou Zishu in previous episodes talked about how he ran away and how he hated that about himself, that he ran away from the window of heaven, he ran away from his responsibilities, he ran away from taking action. And the one thing I like is that Wen KeXing is a little bit different than Zhou Zishu in the sense that he takes responsibility. He takes responsibility for what he has to do and decides, no, I can't run away. I've got to go back. As much as I would love to run away, I've got to settle this first. So, and then he comes back. One red flag of Wen KeXing leaving is when he tells Zhou Zishu, he's like, I need to teach you how to cook because, you know, I might not be around. he's like, I need to teach you how to cook because I might not be around in the future. So what are we going to do about that? And I like that Zhou Zishu's like, I'm not going to cook. Me and Zhou Zishu have the same mindset. Now look, I grew up in like not a wealthy household by any means, but I'm not a good cook. I'd rather microwave something if anything. So he's like, Zhou Zishu's like, I'm too pretty to cook. No. I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah. And then again, another red flag is when KeXing looks at the sunset and he's like, well, the sun's about to set and it's about to be dusk. We're about to go from the beautiful, happy, sunny days to the sunset period. Then we're going to go into darkness, and we just have to trust that it's always darkest before the dawn, which seems like where we're headed. So, but anyway, so from there, we get the idea. Also, I love the tragic comic ghosts, black and red combo. She's gorgeous. I love the drunk dream that is being used. Also, we have these assassins with the curved swords. Fun times. Love the alluring ghost. She has like Mulan colors. Love it. Really good. And she decides to work for him in exchange for saving Yu Qiangfeng's life. And she's like, I can't help who I love. I know he's bad, but I can't help it. And so the Scorpion King's like, look, I'm not going to kill him with a tragic comic ghost, but you're not getting my services for free. You're going to have to do something. And I love the framing of him and her with the spiral in between them. That is such good to show that they are both. I loved this framing because it shows they are both like, the swirl goes in the same direction for each of them. It separates them. They are on different wavelengths, but they both are in the same boat as they are obsessed with this one person who's maybe not a good person. They just can't help it. Right? And she is choosing to save the person she loves, but the Scorpion King's like, am I going to do that for Daddy Jing? I don't know. So she's like, I won't let down those who are loyal to me. If you hadn't gave me that formula, then it might have been a different story. So he's like, have you heard something called the drunk dream death life? And she's like, no. And he says that Kunzhou has a plant called Nepenthes. Funny that we get Kunzhou mentioned because we just got it mentioned earlier with the great shaman and Lord Seventh. We got the same place mentioned for the first time and now we're getting it brought up again. Funny that. So this plant from Kunzhou, he says there's a plant called Nepenthes. There's a plant called that. And then he says it's mixed with 7 types of poisonous insects. So if you mix it with 7 poisonous insects, which 7th Lord, 7 poisonous insects. Coincidence? I think not. It forms the water of oblivion. So, fun times. And then he says, which makes people forget what they most care about. And mixed with 7 flowers, it forms the drunk life, dream, death. So when it's with 7 flowers, it mentions that. And then they basically cancel each other out. I kind of love the symbolism with that, because if you think about it, the idea that mixing it with poisonous insects makes you forget, but then mixing it with flowers makes you remember. That's a really cool symbolism. I love that. I think that's awesome. I like how that's described in this. They're 2 sides of the same coin. They reinforce and yet contradict each other and counteract them. So that's cool. So it's been 7 days since the tragic comic ghost has been slowly like inhaling this incense of the drunk dream life. And so he's like, hopefully this is going to get her to remember she needs to wake up. And then he thinks to himself, all the sayings out there are just rumors. My father wouldn't lie to me. She's going to speak the truth and I'll be able to return his innocence. I'm just doing this to prove my father's innocence. Well, no. that backfired immensely, because she was like, he is not innocent. No. But man, what a convincing web he weaves. Am I right? So we get Xiao Ning and Guzhong meeting the Gentle Wind Sect and the leader Fawn. And I really like him. Leader Fawn, he clearly has a serious side to him. He clearly wants to talk to Xiao Ning about the glazed armor. And he seems a little bit suspicious about her, but he's like, she seems okay. She's chill. We'll let it go. But he definitely is smarter than he looks and lets on, which is going to be interesting. I mean, he was Gao Chong's like closest friend who has the glazed armor. So, I mean, and they know he has the glazed armor. I think they know he has the glazed armor anyway. But we find out Xiao Ning was an orphan. Little orphan kids living together, getting married. I love how they all tease Xiao Ning. They're like, is this the wife you were talking about? And she's like, I love it. I think it's so sweet. I do like that Fawn kind of accepts her and like is like, oh man, she's fierce. Xiao Ning, you've got a heap of trouble ahead of you. Everybody's recognizing that Xiao Ning has his work cut out for him. But Fan Huai Kwong is the elder Fawn. Yes. I love it. And she's just like, hello, I love it. Where'd you kidnap this girl from? And then he's like, are you not stupid? How could you get kidnapped by my stupid nephew if you aren't stupid? And I'm like, and then she figures out that he's making fun of Xiao Ning. And she's like, oh, okay, you'll be fine. I just love Xiao Ning is such a precious angel baby. He deserves the world. He's so sweet. He's so blushy around all of his other juniors when they find out that he's getting married to her. It's adorable. I love it. But yeah, so they go back to the Gentle Wind Sect. I feel like they're all in capable hands. I trust the Gentle Wind Sect leader. I think that he's smarter than he looks and he's playing his cards close to the vest, but he doesn't seem nefarious at all. I think that he's interested in Guzhong and who she is, but I think he trusts Xiao Ning's judgment as well. So, when the Scorpion King goes back to talk to Daddy Jing, at this point, he has not heard the full story of what happened, but he's asked the tragic comic ghost to talk to him about it. And I'm assuming maybe the tragic comic ghost wasn't ready to spill yet, but she was like, go ask him about this. Go ask him about my handkerchief that says, if my lord does not betray me, I will not betray my lord. Go ask him about it. Go ask him about it. Just see what he says. I like that she kind of put the ball in the Scorpion King's court to be like, you go do it. And that shot where he looks over to Daddy Jing and there's the screen, the transparent screen in between the two of them. Oh my God. The symbolism in this episode. And then when he was like, there was the 2 black lines above and below where they're like, it was like looking through a window sill at them. Oh my God. It was amazing. The symbolism was incredible in this. So the water transport gang is getting talked about, and then they all leave. And he comes in. This scene between the Scorpion King and Daddy Jing is masterclass. The acting, the emotions, the symbolism, it is a masterclass. And Daddy Jing's character is so nefarious. Because the Scorpion King just wants to know, am I being betrayed by this man that I love? And if I am, what do I do with that? And he's like, I want to trust him, but I'm being told all these red flags. And the story that's told to him is very convincing. It's very convincing. But we as the audience know that Daddy Jing is manipulative. And of course he's going to tell a convincing story. Oh. But yeah, and then so Scorpion King's like, look, you know, everybody knows about us. They know about me. They know about you. Why are we hiding these things? Why are you hiding it from me? And Daddy Jing, of course, gives the very, you know, pageantry answer of, well, things aren't all set in order, so I don't want you to get... He is such a masterclass of just pinning it back, being like, well, I don't want you to get hurt. I'm doing this for you. And it's like, are you? The toxicity of between them, oh, it's crazy. And it really comes from Daddy Jing, because the Scorpion King wants a genuine relationship, but Daddy Jing's the one that you cannot trust. And it's crazy. He's like, when do things count as settled? And man, the facial expressions between these two actors, oh my God. Like Daddy Jing was giving it right back, where he was just like, what do you mean calling bullshit? Like you could see the gears turning in his head. Like, how do I spin this? How do I make this work? Because losing the Scorpion King is highly detrimental to a lot of things to him. He's like, you're using me to brush off. And yeah, that shot between the windowsill of like the darkness surrounding them as he puts his hand on him. Oh, and calling him Jair. Did I do something wrong? Was it me? Did I do something wrong? Why do you feel this way? And he's like, oh, I know. I couldn't do anything under these circumstances, and I've wronged you. But I never thought that you would get upset with me. Yeah, he just pins it all back like, oh, it's my fault. And he's like, I'm so happy. Like, it's very much like the language of once you know someone is an abuser and you see it in action, it's very much that language of like trying to keep that toxicity of that relationship and keep it there. He's not wanting to talk with the Scorpion King. He's wanting to offer excuses and frame it as if it's not anyone's fault rather than have an open and genuine communication about it. He's like, well, this is our great undertaking. And then he throws out the line being like, I have no sons and no daughters, so I'm doing this all for you. It's like, oh, buddy. He's like, this is all, you're the closest person to me. Aside from you, who could I entrust my achievements to? And the fact that the Scorpion King is about to cry in this scene, he's about to cry because he's like, I don't know what to believe. And he's like, you're saying all these things and I should be moved, but I don't know if I can trust you. And in the words of Moulin Rouge, without trust, there is no love. And he's like, I don't know what to believe anymore. This scene is so damn good. And then when he gives him the hug, I thought that's as far as we were going with of them together. We'll say, when he has him in the hug, there's a moment where Jing like rubs his head up against, like he kind of tucks his head in the Scorpion King's neck. And I'm like, that's dangerous. That is a dangerous move. Sir, how dare you? Oh my God. And like the Scorpion King looking up at the sky saying, Father, why'd you lie to me? And he's like, what have I lied to you about? And then he brings up the tragic comic ghost. And he's like, oh, where'd you get this? Now, the Scorpion King lies and said it was given to him by Chu Fong to frame him, which would very much make sense to Daddy Jing of being something that would legit happen. Because he doesn't want Daddy Jing to know that he has a tragic comic ghost and the alluring ghost with him. Is this your handwriting? And he's like, oh. The moment that Jing says, you Chiu Fong, the moment he says that, you're like, oh, he's plotting his death as we speak. He's like, oh, that man's gonna die for trying to do this. When meanwhile, you is like, what is happening? What did I do? Part of the game, my friend. Oh my God. So we do a brief little interlude over at this place with our sweet innocent Gu Zhang and Cao Wei Ning is reminding me a lot of the Xiang clan in Modao Zushi. It's reminding me a lot of it, honestly, which is fine. It's super cute. But I just, this is an interesting scene because we do some things where old Elder Fawn is trying to get some information about Gu Zhang. She reveals she's an orphan. She passes it off. She does a good job of cementing over, like, let's not talk about Wen KeXing. The way she said it, we didn't get a reaction from Cao Wei Ning, but I'm guessing he was like, oh, okay, we won't talk about his name. Because she knows the moment Wen KeXing's name is mentioned, they all know he's the Ghost Valley chief. That's all going to blow up in her face. So she tries to smooth it over and says, let's not talk about it. My fear is that when Elder Fawn talks to Cao Wei Ning alone, because he very much has made it clear in this scene that there's going to be a moment where he talks to Cao Wei Ning about the glazed armor alone, where she's not around. It just feels like in that moment, Cao Wei Ning is going to say Wen KeXing and the alarms are going to go off. But we've not gotten to that part yet, right? We've not gotten that part. I think it's going to happen. I think that Gu Zhang is going to leave and go back to the Ghost Valley to look for Wen KeXing when that happens. Because I think she's going to get afraid that Cao Wei Ning is going to, judge her and all of that. I think what's going to end up happening is she's going to leave when that comes out of the wash because she's afraid. And Cao Wei Ning is going to go after her to be like, no, I love you. Did I not say that? And he'll tell her that he accepts her and all that. And that'll get resolved and whatever. I think that's what's going to happen. But I could be wrong. We've been proven wrong by this series before. So we'll just have to see about that. But yeah, so they basically plan that when New Year is over and all this stuff happens, if everybody gets a happy ever after, then they'll be able to get married and stuff once this passageway opens up. But yeah, so they have this conversation, but it's clear that Elder Fawn is going to talk to Cao Wei Ning by himself. Just crazy, y'all. Just crazy. So yeah, then we have, we're back to this scene with Daddy Jing and the Scorpion King. And the Scorpion King's like, what's your story? I want to know how you going to talk your way out of this one. So we get a little bit of backstory about the tragicomic ghost and about the situation with Daddy Jing. So the tragicomic ghost, as we turn out, was the princess of the Neon Palace, which that sounds like a bitchin' thing to be. So she was the princess of the Neon Palace, and he talks about, I was the poor, what does he say there? I was the poor son of the Zhao family's declining side branch. The poor son. So, he was hanging out with Gao Chong and stuff, though, so he clearly had friends in high places because he was with Gao Chong and all them, but he was the poor son of a declining branch. So basically Daddy Jing talks about not having wealth or status, but he was with the peers, like they let him hang out with them. They clearly didn't view him that way. And so he says that, of course, her family just refused to marry her down to me. So I just love how the Scorpion King is like just enamored with this story. They locked her up. And this blood letter, at that time, she sent someone to give it to me. To express her attitude. Yeah, and he just lays it on the table like it's like a discarded relic. Like it's just like, he's like, I don't even want to touch this anymore. So then the Scorpion King says, well, you two... He's like, did you once love each other? This is a pretty precarious situation for the Scorpion King to be in, because, I mean, if you love someone, having to deal with their ex is, not ideal. But, it makes me think of Love Actually, where there's a woman in there whose husband kind of cheats on her. And at the end, she's like, was it just a gift that you gave her? Or was it a kiss and a gift? Or was it sex and a gift? Or worse, was it love? So, there's a difference that the Scorpion King's trying to be like, there's a difference between you being like, forced to marry her, but then did you love her? Because, he just has the most romantic looking face in that moment. Why did you betray her? And he's like, well, it was because of that wench Liao. So we're going to throw his dead wife under the bus. Let's throw her under the bus. So Liao is his ex-wife, who we find out that he killed her. Conveniently, she's dead. She can't speak. Dead men tell no tales. She can't speak up and say her mind. So yeah. And so he's like, oh, do you mean mother? And he's like, don't call her that. I'd imagine why he wouldn't want the Scorpion King to call her mother. One, because it kind of diminishes their relationship a little bit. And two, because he doesn't like her at all. And man, he gets really mad at that point. He gets pissed that Scorpion King's like, oh, okay. You don't know what she's done to me. I love the sign of great ambitions above his head the entire time he's talking about this. So he says, I had tender feelings. At the time, I'd held tender feelings for Liao since she was a proper unmarried lady from a great family who loved me with everything she had. Mm-hmm. Which kind of aligns with what the Tragicomic Ghost says, where she says she was a stupid woman, so she just loved him. Also, if you notice in his story, he was in love with women that were from really wealthy families because he didn't have wealth himself. Like, I ain't saying he's a gold digger, but everything in his story he conveniently, just kind of glosses over is pointing to him like just marrying these women for wealth, right? He's like, I am to blame for not ending her love for me in time. You know who he's also reminding me of? Have you ever seen the Tim Burton film Corpse Bride? He reminds me of a certain character from Corpse Bride that was going around marrying young women for their wealth and status, and then ditching them or killing them or both. He said, we were about to break through all obstacles and marry successfully, but she used the fact that I participated in stealing for the world's armory to threaten me and forced me to follow and marry her instead. So basically he says that Li Yao, like forced, is he talking about that the Tragicomic Ghost forced him to marry her? Is that it? Anyway, Daddy Jing says he was forced to marry and was blackmailed by one of the brides. Because, they're not there to defend themselves. And then he's like, Jair, if stealing the world's armor were solely my own actions, then I would absolutely have fought against her at all costs. But this was an important matter, and I couldn't drag down my other brothers. God, Zhao is such a manipulating master in this scene, because he's not only saying, he's like, she was blackmailing me and I had to marry her and it causes conflict between these two women and I, but he's like, I would have been able to deal with it and I would have said no and I would have accepted the consequences, but my brothers were in trouble if I had said no. I'm like, bitch, you just told him, like, how many months ago that you were totally fine killing off your brothers because you were jealous of them? Did he monologue that by himself? He might have monologued that by himself, but I'm like, he just monologued a few months ago how he was totally chill with killing off his bros because he's like, they never respected me and all this, and now you're using them as a crutch in your excuse to the Scorpion King, being like, oh, well, but my brother's reputation would have been at risk. You didn't give a shit about them, and he should know that you didn't give a shit about them. I endured this humiliation. And married into her family. And then Scorpion King like, but on the day of your marriage, did you know that Lo Fuming went crazy and massacred everyone in the Neon Palace? And he's like, well, do you know why the martial arts world has never heard news about her? Because I went through so much difficulty and found the crazy woman she had become and sent her to receive treatment secretly at the Miracle Healer Valley. So now he's getting this involved. He said that he covered up our Tragicomic Ghost by sending her to the Miracle Healer Valley. Now, the question is that true? We don't know. Is it true that he sent her away to the Miracle Healer Valley? If he did, or if she ended up there, then if she was healed by them, it would maybe make sense why she took pity on Wen KeXing if he was from the same place with the same people. Maybe. We don't know the full story, though, and I don't trust him at all. But when I was trying to subdue her, I was injured badly by her unique martial arts. And since then, my martial arts never improved. When he was trying to subdue her, I'm like, I don't know. It feels like she put up a fight against you and did it herself, but you say whatever you want. Mm-hmm. I ruined her life. Well, that part is true, I believe. If it weren't for me, then she would not have fallen to such a completely human, not human, ghostly state. And then when he's like, Jair, and says, this is the most painful thing in my life. Uh-huh. And God, this scene, he's like, the greatest humiliation of my life. Whenever the Scorpion King gets down on his knees in front of him, I just, y'all, I was going to take this all to the grave. But since you wanted to know, again, I'm doing this for your sake, not my own, for you. Since you wanted to know, I'll tell you. And it's so convincing. Like, the way he says it, we as the audience, because we know that Daddy Jing is not to be trusted. And we're like, something smells like a stunt. It just, the way he says it to the Scorpion King, you can tell he believes him to an extent. To an extent, he's like, I want to believe you. I want to believe you're telling me the truth and that you love me and you've done all this for me. But he should know by now that he can't trust that. And I think that's why he wants to drink the water of oblivion, so he can forget about Daddy Jing and not have to worry about feeling conflicted about it. There's another reason I didn't tell you before. And he's like, that's because I'm also the one who killed Liao. And I like the Scorpion King processes that, like, no, that checks out. He's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because he's like, as I thought, yeah. And he's like, the timid Zhao Jing from the past who placed importance on friendship and justice has died. The one before you is a Zhao Jing now who can personally kill his wife, plot his brother's deaths, and bring calamity to the martial arts world and commit great evils. See, the thing that's so fascinating about Jing is that how he frames it to the Scorpion King is like, because of all the bad things that have happened to me, I have to go out of my way now to punish those, you know, who have committed great evils and do evil myself. He's like, I used to be innocent. I used to be an innocent man that only wanted good in the world, but I've become so jaded by the injustices against me that now I have to be a bad guy, you know? And it's like, but were you always like that, or have you always been the bad guy? That's the crazy part, right? When the world betrays me, I must betray the world. And it's like, again, it's like that moment from The Lion King where Timon and Pumbaa are like, when the world turns its back on you, you turn your back on the world, which is not the advice you seek. But then he says, but only towards you, just so you know. Only towards you. And him putting, like, grabbing his face in his hands, my Jair. Like, the fact that he says, mine, you're mine. Like, he possesses him. Oh, the toxicity. And, like, that, he's like, 9 parts of my heart may be dead. But even if there is one kind of thought left, one bit of affection, I'll leave it all for you. Oh, ooh, oh, that's just, this is the BL, this is the greed the Bible speaks of, just, getting this. I love it. I live for it. There are no beating the allegations. The last clean spot of my life. Oh, promise me. Protect it well. Oh, it's just master manipulation. And the way they're both, like, about to cry and him holding his head in his hands, I'm like, bitch, you don't even have to kiss him. We know. We get it. We get that this is this intimate moment between you two. But he does shed a tear. Don't desert it. He's basically like, don't betray me. Oh. Yeah. I should not have questioned you in this way, and I won't question you again. And he's like, oh, thank God. I'm glad my acting skills worked. You must know that I only have you. The way that he's, like, nuzzling his hand with his cheek, how this got past the censors, I have no clue. I'm like, I was stunned. stunned that this got past the censors, because this is pretty damn intimate. Like, this is sex on a stick. By Don-Mai standards, this is sex. Uh-huh. Oh. Damn. And then him walking past the line of swords. Mm-hmm. To say, if my lord does not betray me, I will not betray my lord. And so he's still thinking through all of this, being like, is he telling me the truth, or is he betraying me? And if he's not telling the truth, then I have no reason to believe him. So he goes back to the Tragicomic Ghost, who's feeling better. And God, what is it with these wigs? There's the one strand of hair that's loose, and I just want to tuck it back behind her ear or something. It's just staying there perfectly side by side. And she's like, don't you have a new master now? And Lurin Ghost is like, don't judge me. So then she's like, oh, hey, kid. Well, what'd you find out? What was his excuse? Did you get the news that you wanted? And he's like, well, he said, and you could tell the Scorpion King's kind of conflicted, because he was sold a very convincing story and he poured his heart and soul into it. So, I mean, the stuff that Daddy Jing said, if he's lying, would damn him eternally, because he basically put all of his acting into that Oscar-worthy performance. Now, the question is the Scorpion King going to find him with some other guy and realize that it was, in fact, a lie? I don't know. We'll see. He said that his wife, Li Yao, threatened him with the secret of the armory. And I love that the Tragicomic Ghost is like, that bitch threaten anybody with a secret? She's like, no. She's like, that's funny. She's like, that woman was an idiot. She's like, I never would have thought that his ability to improvise was still so astounding. She's like, my father was the one who forced him first. Why would he blame him on Yi Li Yao? I love when she's like, what, are you kidding? Because he killed Li Yao after that. And she's like, oh. And she gets softer in that moment. Like, the Tragicomic Ghost, when he says because he killed her afterwards, she's like, so that's his reasoning of why he killed her. Okay. I mean, the reality is probably that he got rid of Li Yao because she knew the truth and he didn't want anybody to talk, because he has a tendency to want to tie up loose ends and get rid of people that could cause him to be damned. You know how that works. So I like the fact that the Tragicomic Ghost is like, no. What actually happened was, she's like, my dad threatened to blackmail him. He just told you it was Li Yao so that when he revealed that he killed her, you'd know he'd had a reason to do so. No, he just killed her to shut her up. My theory is that, unless we get it confirmed here, if I misremembered the conversation, my theory is that the dad blackmailed, Zhao led a thing against the dad and then kidnapped her, and then she got away, went to the Healer Valley, whatever. But she gets really somber. They're like, it sucks that she died. And then she said, no, Li Yao was a brainless idiot of a woman. Although she and I fought over him. She says, I never hated her. Which is interesting. She's like, she was just an idiot that had money, and I was jealous. We were jealous of each other, but whatever. If I had married Zhao Jing instead, then she's like, I would be the one whose bones would be in the underworld and not hers. So she's like, he was going to kill me anyway, regardless. He was going to kill his wife. He's like, first you toyed with me, and then you tossed me away. I gave everything for Zhao Jing, but I never thought that he would switch to Li Yao's as a more lucrative top target. My father watched me weep for him every day, and his heart ached uncontrollably for me. So he used the secret of the armory to threaten him and used the position of the Neon Palace Master to entice him. Only this way was Zhao Jing forced to marry me. So he basically was like, look, she's like, I loved him. I hated that he got with her. So my dad tried to blackmail him so that he would, change his mind. But I never thought that he would be so cruel as to secretly collude with traitors in the palace. And blood washed over the Neon Palace on that wedding day. And she's like, well, it wasn't you then? And she's like, oh, no. No. And then the Scorpion King kind of cuts it off at that moment, being like, let's not dive into this because I don't want to be proven wrong so quickly. But so basically what it sounds like is she's like, oh no. She's like, I was going to marry him, and then things went awry. And the whole story about him getting help from the traders checks out because he's done that in the present. So to think he did it in the past, yeah, sure. So the Scorpion King's like, I need to process all of this that you just told me because it contradicts with the story that he gave me in an Oscar-worthy performance. So he says, the past cannot be pursued. Neither of you have proof of what you say. If he is as cold-blooded as you say, why would he let you live? Which is a fair question. And why would he keep your blood-written letter as a treasure? And then she's like, you don't get him at all. When she was like, you really have an overly shallow understanding of Zhao Jing. She's like, you're looking at him with rose-colored glasses. She's like, no. She's like, you know that in Zhao Jing's life, what delights him most is his ability to manipulate others and devise schemes to gain power, which checks out, which with the present time checks out. And if you think about it, you know, the idea he came from a poor upbringing and wanted to save mementos or trophies from his conquerors, that checks out as well. For every great plot of his, he will save for himself a trophy. And he's like, his master's thumb ring, for example. Or the poison sword that killed Rong Zhan, which basically she confirms in this moment that Zhao Jing killed Rong Zhan, which we knew, but she confirms it. He kept the poison sword. And if you don't believe me, you can look for yourself. And then he's like, there should be a keepsake of that idiotic woman Liao. Most likely an item symbolizing their commitment together. She's like, if my suspicions are correct, then Zhao Jing has also given you a very special memento as a representation of his sincerity. Isn't that so? Which he does have, and he keeps on him, apparently inside of his, outfit there, his clothes there. I'm like, yeah, so the Tragicomic Ghost is like, I've got nothing to lose. Sure, this guy's kind of a sadistic weirdo and keeps trophies of the people that he's manipulated. See for yourself. He's got one for you that he'll take when he's done with you. She's like, nope, he loves them and leaves them. And I'm like, we all know that the Scorpion King is going to find out eventually about Zhao Jing. But it's just a matter of when, right? It's a matter of when. So then we go back to the Four Seasons. We have our family dinner, and they're all worried about Ye Bai coming back on time. And I love Chengling's like, well, we're gonna get started on the cabbage rolls. We're gonna get started on those dumplings. He's like, Ye Bai really wants these special ones, and I love that Zhao Jishu was like, all you know is to eat, buddy. He's like, well, Elder Ye said he was coming back in one of those. And Chengling's like, I'm practicing every day. I like Zhao Jishu was like, are you talking back to me, son? Zhao Jishu's like, getting a little bit, he's like, did you learn this from Wen KeXing? Wen KeXing's like, I'll go buy ingredients tomorrow, which he's not going to do. And then Zhao Jishu's like, aren't you going to mouth off to him? And he's like, no. He's like, Ye Bai is helping me to cure you, so I'm not going to yell at him this time. Might as well give him the damn dumplings and the cabbage rolls. And he's like, well, given Elder Ye's appetite, our cooking talent had better prepare many times the amount. Oh, so Zhou Zishu's like, we could take a cart to Clearwater Town and go get wine from there and buy some good wine and vegetables. And he's like, oh, I'll go with you. And then I like Zhou Zishu's like, no, you're not going with him. You're going to stay back and practice. He's like, well, I never slack off. I love Chengling's like, tries to talk him out, and he's like, you're still talking back. Go to bed. And so Zhou Zishu's like, let's wrap this dinner up. Everybody gets some rest. And that's when Wen KeXing's like, well, do you want to drink and chat a little bit longer, and I can tell you about what's going on? And he's like, no, there's a big battle waiting for us in a few days. I need to save up my strength. And I think that reminds Wen KeXing that, yeah, this battle's got to get prepared for. So he tells him to go get some rest. Which makes me nervous, because he didn't get a chance to talk to him about his identity and everything. I do like Chengling grabbing the nuts, like the Wulong ad, the promo, you know. But when KeXing's like, okay, I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I need to go. And that's when he gets this bitchin' lavender robe on and heads out. When he looks back towards Zhou Zishu, I'm like, it's like he's looking back like he's never going to see him again. And we know that's not the case, but when KeXing's like, I got things to take care of. I got to go back and be the ghost chief. So what do we got to do? Oh, that cliffhanger. That cliffhanger is brutal. That cliffhanger is brutal. How disturbing, y'all. Anyway. This episode was amazing, and I absolutely loved it. So much setup, so much with the Scorpion King and Daddy Zhao, all of that. But I'm really excited for episode 27, so I'm also excited to hear your comments down below. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back very soon with more Word of Honor. And I'll see you then.